Hello, my name's Andrew Brooks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is a kind of request of a review from one of the viewers. So here it is. Here's my take on Give My Regards to Broad Street. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. First of all, let's just say big hello to all the new subscribers and everyone who's watching today. The viewing figures have gone up, which is always good news. Now, in response to a video I did quite a while ago now, which was all about what could be in a Give My Regards to Broad Street archive edition, someone did contact me. Unfortunately, he didn't put his real name down, unless his real name is Sigmund Freud. But there we are. And he just requested he likes the videos and my style of presenting them, and he asked, would it be possible to do a review of Give My Regards to Broad Street, the film? Now, I'm not really a reviewing channel. I like to talk about stuff and I like to talk about releases, different releases. But if you notice, I don't actually like give ratings very much. You know, I don't rate things out of 10 and you know, stuff like that. So this is not really, unfortunately, Sigmund, if you are watching this, I guess this isn't really what you wanted to hear. But I thought, do you know what? It's nearly, well, it's 38 years almost to the day of the release of the album Give My Regards to Broad Street, and obviously the film came out a bit later on. Now, what I thought I would do is just see how the film stands up, you know, in the test of time, and is it still as bad as people make out it could be, or as bad as people think it was back in the day. Okay, so let's just rewind. We'll go back to 1984. It's the end of the year, and it was a big time for me. It was the first time I'd ever met McCartney. I saw him in Soho Square outside his offices, and yeah, it was very, very soon just before the release of the film in the cinema. And I met him, and we had a good old one-to-one chat, really. But excuse me. But yeah, so 1984. He'd been away for a little while. Pipes of Peace obviously was the last album he produced, and then he rocked up with this one, which was Give My Regards to Broad Street. As I said, I'm not going to go into the album as such, because I covered all that in the other video. But yeah, so this is what we got in 1984, as you can see. And yeah, well, let's just stick that back up there. Okay, let's think back to how it was received in the cinema. In the cinema, unfortunately, it did not do well at all. You know, I'm sure it made his money back and stuff like that. But you've got to look at what positive things have come out from this film. Positives that I can think of. One, we've got a new McCartney album with some new songs, and I'll come on to the songs in a little bit. But we did get some new material from McCartney. We got collaborations between Paul and Ringo, which is always a joyous thing. He was on TV a lot, trying to publicise and and promo the album. We got a TV special, a South Bank show special, all about the making of Give My Regards to Broad Street, which then showed some behind the scenes footage of the film. So all these things are really positive. Negative wise, obviously, you know, the actual plot and the actual storyline, it's a bit of a turkey. Yeah, spoiler alert, it was all a dream. Yeah, so the actual film itself didn't do very well and was quite poorly received. And I think that probably sort of hit Paul quite hard, because you know, you think about the songs that came from this this particular time, this album, this film. Yeah, on it is my all-time favourite McCartney solo track, which is No More Lonely Nights. For me, that is the best single he's produced, or best song he's made for in ever, in the solo aspect of it all. And but this film, the negative reviews of the film hit him so hard. He's never performed that live. unfortunately. What other films we've got? Not Such a Bad Boy. You know, all these new songs never been performed. You know, we've got the B side of, like, you know, So Bad or whatever it was, and yeah, oh man. But anyway, so we did get some great new material. The film, unfortunately, you know, it's great to see Paul on a big screen with Ringo, and you know, and playing music on a big screen. If ever you got a chance to see it in the cinema, I was very fortunate. I managed to see it in a preview. I went to the premiere, and I did see it a couple more times afterwards just to reassure myself how bad it was. And but you know, I loved it. It was great to see a Beatle on the screen. Um, okay, let's look at what, you know, what else was going on. It meant that we could get some fantastic stuff from the fan club. That's always a good start, the fan club, because obviously being run by Paul, they loved it. So yeah, as a result, the fan club produced two bumper um, club sandwiches, and here they are here. As you can see, really big tomes of stuff, and it's, you know, it's all photos from the film. Now, I did actually do a little trip out a little while ago. It was going to be, I was going to do something similar about film locations, and I did actually go to some of these locations. Um, so just for example, the Old Justice pub. Hopefully, there's a picture of it on the screen now. I went and tracked it down. It's in Bermondsey. It's right near the River Thames, and tracked it down. It's sadly no longer a pub. It's now some sort of like Thai restaurant place, and I believe they're even going to be turning that into accommodation. So by the time this film's out, it could already be, you know, people's apartments and flats. Interestingly, I did watch a TV program from the 70s called Regan, which for all the British viewers was like the pilot episode of The Sweeney, if you remember The Sweeney. And right at the start, they drive by the Old Justice pub, which you know, it was nice to see, and I recognised it instantly. So yeah, so they've got the Old Justice pub where Paul pulls up in the little sports car, and it's, you know, it's quite recognisable. They've even put a sort of a blue plaque on the front to say this is where it was filmed. Other locations you've got are like the warehouse where Paul and Ringo and the band perform Not Such a Bad Boy, you know, and that's right on the riverfront, south of Tower Bridge, where all the wharves are, and again, there should be a picture now of all the, like, the walkways going in between the different warehouses and things like that. And yes, I did find the you know, the location where you see giant haystacks walking along, and all of that. Anyway, so hopefully the pictures have been up on the screen. Okay, how does it stand up? 38 years later, almost to the day. Yeah, it's still not a good film. It's still not a good film. I enjoy watching it. You can't get it over here on Blu-ray or DVD. It was out on VHS, and I did have a VHS copy, but unfortunately, for some reason, I've got rid of it. What I do have now is this DVD, and this is from the States. And as far as I know, this is the only way you can now get to see the film, unless you're going to watch it on YouTube or whatever. Now, this film is a slightly odd DVD. It's a double-sided DVD, basically. And so on one side you've got the letterbox version, the widescreen version, and the other side you've got the full screen version. So, you know, you get the same film twice, but just one you get to see the full screen, and the other one is sort of like, you know, widescreen. The innards are very poor. I mean, they've got this god awful. I mean, even the cover it's an awful cover, and then they've got this as the. I mean, that's a far better picture, which is taken from, you know, him sitting on Broad Street Station. Another location, it's gone. So if you're into trains and looking at old stations, if you watch the film, you can see Broad Street Station before they demolished it, which I believe was like 1985. They demolished it, maybe 86. So shortly after this film was made, it was flattened. Not due to the film, I hasten to add. What other things did we get? you know, as I said, the music, here's the music book that goes with it. Again, full of nice pictures, but you've also got the sheet music, and you've also got a script in the back as well. Um, so going back to how it stands up today, uh, I I have to be honest, it's not one of my go-to videos. I I put it on. Let me think. The last time I watched it all the way through was probably about just over a year ago. Before that, it was probably, I don't know, 10 years. Um, since I'd seen the movie, and I did watch a little bit of it before coming on today, just to refresh my memory about certain things. So let's go on to the music. Does the music still stand up today? As I said, we've got where's the CD? Here it is. So here's the track listing from the CD. You've got No More Lonely Nights, which, as I said, for me is like his best solo song, and then you've got these Beatles songs, just Good Day Sunshine, Yesterday, Here, There, and Everywhere. And at the time, we was all thinking, why would you put these classic songs, redo them in your film? I know you want to push your film, but write some new songs, write some decent songs. um, You've got things like Wanderlust from Tug of War, which probably wouldn't people, the casual viewer wouldn't know it was from Tug of War. Ballroom Dancing again from Tug of War, and then you're going into like silly love songs, which probably the non-fans would recognise, being a Wings hit. Then you've got So Bad, Not Such a Bad Boy, No Values, um, followed on by For No One and Eleanor Rigby. Now, following on from Eleanor Rigby is one of my favourite pieces in the whole film. I love Eleanor's Dream, which obviously, you see Paul and Ringo going back into Victorian time. There's like a bit of Jack the Ripper about it. There's, all seeing these sort of classical paintings brought to life, and it's quite stunning. So I do like Eleanor's Dream, and it's also a little hint of what's to come with his classical stuff. And if you watch the South Bank show, you'll hear George Martin describe how it was, or it might have been Paul, describe how when they gave him the sort of the time frame that he needed to write this music, they put over top of the footage some Bach classical music, and he says he couldn't cope with it, so he had to turn the volume down and write his own piece. And even then it came up a little bit short, so then they had to work around. Anyway, if you get a chance to watch the South Bank show, give my regards to Broad Street Special, watch it, because it's great. You see all the behind the scenes, and you hear Paul and them all talking about it. Moving on, you've got Long and Winding Road again. You've got No More Lonely Nights, different version, and then you've got things like Goodnight Princess, which was only on the CD. You do have on the LP, and I believe it's probably also on the CD as well. You've got No More Lonely Nights, Ballad Reprise. Now in the film, if you get if you notice the bit where the Ballad Reprise comes in, it's like a real soft sort of slowed down version of the song, and it's an instrumental version, but it's like played on an acoustic guitar, and it's slowed down. And for me, I absolutely love, and I would have loved to have heard a full length version of the song performed like that, but it's only a short little snippet. So it's something to look out for within the film and play on the album if you get a chance. So for me that is one of the things. So what can I say really? I'd love it to come out on Blu-ray. I'd love it to come out with loads of extras. Let's see these TV shows that he was plugging it on in the UK and in the States. Let's see a lovely clean version of the movie, maybe with some outtakes, maybe with the South Bank show Broad Street film in 5.1 surround. Yeah, great, fabulous. That's what we all love. So I guess in conclusion, I'm going to say it's still a turkey, unfortunately, and there's a great comedy show over here called Spitting Image, and it's in the UK. If I can find it, if I can find the clip on YouTube, I'll stick it up here now. So if there's something, click on it, because it's another reason why obviously Paul decided maybe this was a bad move. Yeah, so the film itself still is not a great film. The music, however, to watch McCartney and even doing his Beatles stuff, to watch him perform for no one and things like that, it's not something you get to see every day. So why not? You get to see 1980s London. One of the bridges all lit up, Battersea Bridge, I think it might have been, or Chelsea Bridge, one of the two, all lit up. And that's how I remember London in the 80s, and going through Soho and stuff like that. The MPL building that he uses in the film is not the real MPL. However, inside, the carpet with the music note design, it's blue with musical notes all over it, is the same carpet in the real MPL. So how much must that have cost to have got that carpet redone for this set? So to watch the film in retrospect, thinking in nostalgic terms, it's nearly 40 years old. It's great to see the London that I remember as a teenager. It's great to see the London that I remember, when I used to go uptown and hang out and stuff like that. It's great seeing Paul looking how I remembered him the first time I met him. And do you know what? I'm going to stick the picture up of my first ever meeting with Paul. So that should be up on the screen by now. So all these things on a personal level are fantastic memories. Film wise, it's not the best film in the world. However, it's still worth a watch. So if you haven't watched it because everyone's gone, oh, it's god awful. Yes, it is. It is awful. But you've got to see it just because it's got some fantastic things in it. Paul and Ringo together on film. I would say the film itself hasn't stood the test of time, but for nostalgic reasons, it's a dead cert. You must watch it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and by now there's probably some videos appeared up here. Thank you very much for watching, and please carry on subscribing, carry on watching, and I'll see you next time.